Hello and welcome. We are so glad that you are here. This is Farm to Taste with Rose Stein and the amazing, the one and only, the famous Chef Cindy.
Hey, I'm so glad you guys are here today. We have such a wonderful show for you. Oh my gosh. We're making homemade pesto, and then we are making a chimichurri.
Heaven.
But before, it's heaven. This is just amazing. And like, you know, I'm a chef, so I know what to do. And you know about the nutrition because we are both teachers here at Mount Diablo High School. These things are grown. A lot of them are grown right here on campus.
Absolutely.
But
easy to grow herbs.
We have a third element here. So you have a chef, you have a teacher.
That's true.
And we have an amazing doctor. So let's give it up for Dr. Green. Woo!
It is great to be with you both today.
Oh my God.
Welcome. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited we're starting with herbs because they're so delicious and so healthy. And excited we're starting with sauces because once you know how to make a good sauce, you can cook all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of things because it makes it fun.
Right?
Okay, so I want to tell you what I've got going on.
Beautiful.
We are going to make these beautiful sauces. And I got here early this morning that I want to show you where these beautiful sauces are going.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, look at this.
Oh, that smells
We have got
good.
2 amazing chickens, and we have got cauliflower steaks.
Roasted cauliflower.
Because that's one of Rose's favorites.
That is true. I'm a cauliflower girl.
Okay, so I'm gonna just keep it warm here in the oven
Okay.
while we make these sauces, and then
Beautiful.
we'll put together our lunch, which will be amazing.
It'll be fantastic.
Everybody's mouth will be watering. So I'm going to give you just a little history right here on what we're
Beautiful.
doing, if
Perfect.
that's okay, because we also teach where things come from.
Right.
So this is our chimichurri, and this comes from Argentina.
Beautiful.
So what they do with the chimichurri is that they roast a lot of their meats, and then they put, because there's not a lot of flavoring into the meats, they like to roast and barbecue and such,
Right.
hang their meats. And then they put the sauce right over the top.
Beautiful.
Which is amazing.
So this would be great on chicken, on fish, steak.
Steak,
Yeah,
but they do a lot of
fantastic.
beef in Argentina,
yeah,
right?
Great beef in
Even
Argentina.
just vegetables.
Right.
Well, that's what we're
Tofu.
showing.
I mean,
Right.
literally anything. If you guys have not made chimichurri sauce in your homes, you are going to want to do this 100%. It's life-changing.
It's life-changing.
It's life-changing.
And then we have Italian basil. Okay,
Beautiful.
we're going to make pesto. Pesto is also amazing on your meats, on your vegetables. And so here's the palate to be able to eat fresh, good food. Because I know that you are a big fan
I'm a fan of fresh, real food, right.
Real food.
Yep.
So this is how you can make it taste really good. So why don't we start off with pesto?
We're
tell
gonna
us
start with the pesto.
Okay, but I was hoping you could just say, why are basil leaves? Tell me about basil. Tell me about herbs.
So herbs in general are some of the most delicious and some of the healthiest foods on the planet. They're concentrated with flavor, and because of that, they're concentrated in nutrients. And basil has been around forever. It's used now all over the world, and it's so easy to grow. One thing that's really important to know about basil is that the great tasting parts and the really healthy parts are what we call volatile. They evaporate into the air. So the best time to have it is when it's still fresh leaves. You don't want dried basil. Dried basil is okay, but it's lost all the great stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
What? There's the bill.
Wait.
Hold on, we got to wait. You know,
We're
we're
at school.
teachers, we're at school. You're going to get the bill.
Cool. Okay, so the best parts of the basil in terms of the nutritional value evaporates in the air?
Anti-inflammatory. Yeah, it evaporates in the air.
Is that just basil? I'm sorry, my mind is blown right now. I did not know this.
So
Okay.
basil, that's particularly true. But it's
Okay.
also true of garlic, and it's true of almost anything. If you eat it shortly after it was picked, it tastes better, and it's a lot more nutrients.
Okay, so
So
I
fresh.
just wanted to.
This is our.
This is fresh.
Yes,
Our
fresh.
And I should say fresh or flash frozen actually preserves it. But if it's canned or dried or hangs around for a while, then it's not as good.
Okay.
So you should always
Okay,
check
this is
the
good to know.
date
Right.
on when things were picked. So I bought this at the grocery store. I picked that from the garden. But I wanted to show that this right here, this, I guess it's, how many ounces? This is 4 ounces of basil. 4 ounces of basil. That's exactly what that is. So if you don't have it growing in your garden, like the luxury that we do, you can buy this container, 4-ounce container, and then now Rose is going to show us how to make this.
Would you say this is like 2 cups?
I would say two cups. Yeah.
2 cups?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay. And then we've got some garlic, wonderful, wonderful garlic.
Tell
1,
us
2, 3,
about
4, 5, 6 cloves.
Bonus on garlic. When people think about the legend of vampires and how garlic protects you from vampires, well, there's actually a little bit of truth in the protection part.
Okay.
Garlic helps protect against infections, and it helps protect against toxins in the environment, like cigarette smoke, for instance. I'm not saying go out and smoke, but I'm saying that if you're around smoke, the garlic helps protect you. It's like this shield, and it's tasty, and it's good for the heart.
Do I wear a garlic necklace? Is that enough?
Eat fresh garlic.
Or eat fresh garlic. And you're not saying roasting it. You're saying the best way is raw?
Well, I'm actually a
garlic?
fan of mixing it up. Roasted garlic is great, and fresh garlic is great too. So
Okay, mix it up.
Yeah.
What you're saying is put garlic in everything.
garlic is great.
Garlic in everything. And we got that going on today. But what's really interesting about pesto is that it comes from northern Italy. That's the base, but different regions put different things into it. So I prefer a pesto without nuts in it. And there's some people that don't want to have any nuts in their things. So some people put pine nuts or walnuts or almonds or cashews. Well, I mean, maybe not cashews.
I like
whatever.
walnut pesto. It's good.
Walnut pesto is good. But
Simple and straightforward.
this is simple and straightforward. It's just olive oil, basil.
Hold on.
Okay.
We're doing the cheese first.
All right.
So you shredded it up. This is a 1/2 cup?
That's a 1/2 cup.
Okay, so 1/2 cup.
And the word pesto comes from the word for pounding on something, or just. But here we're using a
like a
Vitamix.
motor and pestle.
Right. Exactly.
Right? So
Same
you'd
thing.
have like
right.
your little thing, and you just grind it, and you put all the ingredients in there and grind it, and then put it on your food.
That's
and,
it.
And when you use
The pestle.
pestle.
Yeah.
that is the best way to do it.
It is a great way to do it. But
Most
this
of us,
is super quick, and you
this
get
is
almost all
quick
the
because
benefits.
it's about 20 minutes to do it like that. And if you're home and you want to do something with the kids, that would be fun. But this is like,
I remember that. I remember we were doing I think it was acorns, right?
Oh,
in elementary school, we went up into the hills, and then we all had our little
Like
motor
the
pestle.
indigenous, right.
We were like, man, this is a lot of work. You're hungry after that.
Right.
Right.
You need some good nutrients.
okay, that is
All right.
called farm strength.
There you go.
That is farm.
Okay.
I need the oil, Mom.
I'm going to give you the oil right now.
Yes, thank
and I
you.
would say about a 1/2 cup is what you're going to go with. So
this
she
is
likes,
looking good.
And you can always add more, but you can't take it out. So you kind of start small, right?
Okay, so
All
tell
right.
me about this mixer, Rose.
What
A
about the
Vitamixer.
What do you want? What do you want to know
Just
about it?
how
It's awesome.
Okay.
It's awesome,
does a
and
lot
I
of
love
good
it.
It does a lot of good stuff.
It does a lot of good stuff. All right, so this is going to be a little bit loud, so let's do it. So what do you think? A little more oil? Yeah, it needs more
I think a
oil.
little
'cause
I
bit
would
more
say
oil, yeah.
a 1/2 cup of oil.
yeah, because
So
you
you,
can.
want to put even amounts of cheese and oil. That's what I do.
Yeah, and you can kind of tell that it just needs a little bit more because it's not really mixing inside of there. That's
But
one
it's
way to
smelling
tell.
good already.
It is smelling good.
Very nice. That's good.
That's it?
I like it
Yeah.
a little chunky.
A little chunky. I
So
like it.
I want to tell you a little bit about the storage for
Yes,
pesto.
yes.
So it'll go brown if it doesn't have a nice lick because it gets oxidized. So if you take your pesto and you put it in a bowl or a little container and you put a little bit of olive oil on the top and then take some
like
saran
a little
wrap
barrier,
and
yeah.
you want to keep the air out and it'll stay this vibrant green. But you can also just stick it right into the freezer in little containers. You can use an ice tray and do an ice tray of little pesto so that you can just pop one cube out and you can put it on your, oh, look at that.
That looks
Look at
gorgeous.
And you can also use different herbs for your pesto. You can use parsley. You can make a cilantro pesto, which is really good. Just olive oil and cheese, whatever herbs, and you can mix them up,
Yeah.
which is really nice.
So you can switch out the herb, you can switch out the oil, you can switch out the cheese, but it's
And it goes good on pizza, it goes good on tofu, it goes good on meat, it goes good on pasta. I mean, it's versatile.
I love it on green beans. It's my favorite way to have green beans.
Oh my God, green beans. I'm losing my mind right now.
All right, can you maybe tell us a little bit about the nutrients that are in basil that are good for the body? Because where it's grown and how it's grown, like the soil that it's grown in, it matters, right?
Soil matters. So a lot of people think that soil and dirt are the same thing, but they couldn't be farther apart.
You should see what I just brought to my garden. In fact, you know what? We'll put it in later.
Okay.
My garden, we are doing these things that you're talking about. You know,
That's fantastic.
When you told me about going from dirt to soil, I thought, bam.
Right.
But that's why we have a garden at school. That's why gardens are so important in school. So
Right.
I just wanted to put that in there.
I'm a huge fan of gardens in school. And if you don't have a garden in your school, the basil you can just do on a windowsill at home. It's super easy to grow.
Yeah. When you buy those plants,
Yeah.
in fact, it's cheaper to buy the whole plant at Whole Foods than to
Interesting.
buy the little package. And then you buy the plant, you keep
Take a
it in
few
your
leaves off,
windowsill, and it'll just keep coming back. So we'll be showing those things in our garden too.
So dirt is basically minerals and water and air. And you can grow stuff in that. But soil has organisms, has living organisms. And if you get one handful of good soil, has more living organisms than there are people on the planet. It's a huge ecosystem in just one handful of soil.
That's very different.
And soil is magic. What it does is those organisms break down waste of plants and animals and into nutrients, and then creates this life-giving stuff that vibrant things grow out of. So if you see a redwood tree,
I was just thinking of that because
Right?
that's the smell. The
Right.
smell when you walk into a redwood forest, you
it's
smell the
right?
soil.
And
it's
all
so
of that
rich.
bulk of the tree is built from
Yes.
the soil.
Yes.
Soil is magic stuff.
The pile that I have in the parking lot,
Yes.
when you walk by that, I have the local wood. They brought me the wood chips from the people that are chopping down the trees. And we have our students, our freshmen, because in our school, we want to build a sound mind and a body, but how can you build it without good nutrients, right? And so if you get the kids involved in doing your garden, and you get the community bringing the wood chips and bringing the soil. We have a compost pile outside.
I saw that outside.
Isn't
That's
that
great.
awesome? And you can just smell everything. And that's the soil you
Right.
want to grow in.
Exactly.
So your green waste, and we collect all of our green waste here because the waste has all the vitamins and minerals in it. It makes sense.
It's a full circle, right?
It's a full circle. Okay.
Yep, and you need something brown and something green to make the best compost. So the wood chips and the food waste together mix up to have really, really good.
And it kind of heats up and you see the steam coming up.
Right, and it breaks everything down and then makes it available for spectacular new life,
So
including for us. Yeah.
Right, yes. So healthy soil grows, or rich soil grows healthy plants.
Right.
And then we eat those plants that grew up healthy.
Right, and everything you see in a person is built out of the food they eat. And the best, healthiest, most vibrant is from eating healthy plants or animals that fed on healthy plants.
So the plant sucks up the nutrients,
Exactly.
the minerals
Right.
from the soil, that rich, fluffy, smelling good
has worms in
soil.
Yeah.
The worms, yes, are very
in
important.
1 acre of a field with soil,
Yeah.
there's about 1,000 pounds of worms.
I believe.
So if you're standing on a
Worms are
acre,
good.
they're big. Yeah, they're great.
And what the worms are eating,
Right.
and they're
The worm casings.
the
yeah.
casing, we call it casings,
Right.
are going back into the soil, and that's they're breaking down the food and the chunks, and they're
Right.
breaking it and making it into soil.
Right, it's another cycle. It's all these interlocking cycles that we're
Worms
part
make
of. Right.
soil. So if you do not have any worms in your garden, you're going to have it will be tough soil, and worms actually break everything up.
Yeah, they're one of the best. There's all kinds of little tiny animals that can do it, but it's spectacular what's happening.
And there's
So-
a little bit of bacteria,
there's
there's
bacteria,
a little bit
there's
of other
fungi,
things
there's-
in there that are
That
breaking
sounds
things
like
down. And
like my gut.
Well, it's actually a lot like your gut. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So thank God we have those little
the bacteria in us,
microbacteria,
right?
because they're eating up the plants that we eat
exactly.
and breaking it down.
So the nutrients go into us.
Oh my God, that's brilliant. That is brilliant. That is brilliant. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I'm
in
just
some ways,
like,
we have
fun.
portable soil inside that we're growing out of.
And
Plants
then-
put down roots into the soil, and our intestines put down these little villi into that stream
So are
of
we
bacteria.
kind of like worms because what we cast off has a lot of nutrients?
There's a lot of
if we eat
similarities
well?
between all life. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're just giant
But
worms.
if you buy something that's made in a factory from chemicals, it's an entirely different thing. It's not part of the cycle.
Yeah, well, because then you're making dirt.
Right.
And
exactly.
it's dry,
No,
and it's
I wanna make soil.
nutritionless.
Right.
Yeah.
I want to make soil.
Yeah.
Me too.
I want to teach people how to make soil because soil is life and soil is regenerative.
Yes.
Is that the right word?
Regenerative, yes.
Yes, we just, oh my gosh, I'm just so excited. Chimichurri.
Chimichurri. I
All
love
right, are you
chimichurri.
ready for this?
Yes.
So I had my students chopping this up.
I love
and
that.
when I'm in the kitchen, I like to have the kids around me and have them chop and smell. And I was showing them, and I wanted to show you, like, here is just regular parsley.
So
okay?
I got to say about regular parsley. When I was a kid and saw parsley on a plate at a restaurant, I started to pick it up and eat it. And the waitress told me, that's just garnish. You're not supposed to eat that. And it wasn't great parsley. But parsley is like a superstar herb. There is more iron in parsley, ounce for ounce, than in steak. There is more calcium than in milk. There is more vitamin C than orange juice. I mean, it is richly packed with
We
nutrients.
should be wearing this like this, right?
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, seriously, in ancient
is-
Greek, the athletes who won the games wore parsley.
I love it. All right, so there's this parsley.
Love that
Then I
story, thank
have,
you.
I think it's right here. I have
Wait, okay,
Italian parsley.
I have to ask, how easy is parsley to grow?
Oh my God, it grows like a weed.
It grows
It
like a
literally
weed.
grows like a
It
weed.
grows
yeah.
like a weed. And it's so easy, and except when it freezes outside. So it is a seasonal thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in California, there's like maybe 6 weeks when you can't grow that in basil because it just freezes, it gets too cold and it freezes up. But you can always grow it indoors.
You can grow it indoors with just in the windowsill.
In my tower garden. I'll have to show you
Oh.
that later. Okay, so here is Italian parsley. So I don't know if you can see Italian parsley. It's
Bigger
flat
leaves,
leaf. It's
yep.
called flat leaf Italian parsley. Bigger leaves, which means it's taking in more nutrients from the sun.
Right,
The
right.
larger this, but you
More
can see how vibrant
photosynthesis,
green
right.
photosynthesis. Okay.
And trick, if you eat this, or actually any broadleaf plant, there's chloroplasts in there that do photosynthesis from the sun. And when you eat it, those get into your body under the skin. And if you go outside about 2 hours after eating this,
Yes.
you end up doing photosynthesis in your body. And creating CoQ10, this really important nutrient. The best way to get it for your heart, the best way to get it is eating greens and then going outside for a walk.
That's like in tabbouleh, where most of the tabbouleh is parsley. And they chop it up and they add olive oil, extra virgin olive oil, and lemon juice, and they let it sit. And then they add a little bit of, very little bit of grain and peppers and salt. We're going to make that too eventually.
wonderful,
My
wonderful.
gosh. But that is,
Sorry, I'm having like,
Yeah.
as like the, one of the fairest skinned people
Right, isn't that
alive.
amazing?
I love this because, living in California and being super fair, there's been really heavy like skin cancer, like fear the sun. And what I'm hearing you say is that if I eat this way on a regular basis and give my body what it actually needs, I don't have to be afraid of the sun. In fact, the sun is beneficial to me.
It's beneficial in so many ways. We may want to do a whole episode on sun benefits.
I think we do.
gosh.
Really, really
All right.
cool. We
Food
still
and
want to
sun.
avoid sunburns, but it's so good to
Right,
have
but the
sun.
fear of the sun
It's
really,
stopping people from getting outside.
it really is, but we need that.
And it's a shame. For almost all of human history, most people spent most of their day outdoors. And
They also
today-
ate like
and they
this
ate like
most
this.
of the
It was-
time.
it was
They didn't have
amazing.
all the
so
other
you're saying you
93%
could
of childhood.
naturally protect yourself.
You can.
Okay.
And
All right.
93% of childhood today is indoors. We're missing out on the CoQ10, on vitamin D, on all kinds of
And
things.
then we're falling
Melatonin.
apart, and then they tell us,
Right.
take this pill. No,
Yeah.
take this pesto. Take this chimichurri.
chimichurri.
Okay, so I wanted
much
now
more
to
fun.
show you cilantro. And the difference between, people get these mixed up all the time, cilantro and flat leaf. I mean, they
They
don't
look pretty similar, yeah.
They smell different. So this has a pungent smell. Some people say they can't eat it because it tastes like soap.
Yeah, I love it. My
I
wife
love
doesn't.
it.
It's
Yes.
just one of those things.
It's
a genetic
It tastes
thing.
Yeah,
differently,
it's weird, huh?
Okay, so we have cilantro, we have Italian parsley. I'm going to stick this to the side, and then you can just see the kids just. I mean, I taught them how to chop this all up. So
They did great
over
work.
here I have the cilantro, and I have the. I'm going to move this over here now, and this is how what is going to go into my our chimichurri.
Okay, great.
And it's a little bit different because everybody likes
Their
to
own way,
and
yeah.
their own way. So we've got
Everyone's
the Italian parsley
Okay.
because I love the flavor. And then here is the regular parsley, and you can see I have a half a cup. It's kind of loose. Okay, if you got that. And then I've got my cilantro.
Beautiful.
Okay. Then I love a little bit of mint.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God, I love it.
Also super easy to grow.
Super easy. Are you kidding? It'll
Another
take over
weed,
your
yeah,
whole
right.
year. Make sure you put this in a bucket if you put it outside because it tends to take over
Everywhere,
everything.
right.
That and blackberries. Okay. So what I've got here too is here's your favorite, garlic.
More garlic, yep.
Okay, more garlic. So I've got a little bit of
Vampires beware.
vinegar, a little bit
Vinegar's
of
great,
red
too.
wine vinegar.
Love that. Fermented foods in general are amazing, and red wine vinegar is a really nice one.
Oh, this is. Are you guys loving it already? Are you guys?
No, are
loving
you going to start mixing it
Oh,
together
look,
or
come on,
what?
come on,
I'm
come on.
feeling
I gotta
like
show you what I got.
feeling anxious.
I got extra virgin olive oil.
Fantastic.
You could also put in avocado oil or what other oils that you would like. I just took a little red bell pepper
Nice.
and for color.
Yeah, well, and colors also nutrients is great.
Okay, and then I've got some crushed chilies in case you like it a little spicy.
Nice.
And that's what it is. You can buy it like this and chop it, or you can just buy it, those little packs you get, or
Yep.
Okay, and a little oregano. So this
Nice.
is dried oregano. Fresh oregano would be amazing, but we don't have that
It's
in our
harder to
garden
get,
yet. It's
yeah.
harder to get, but it's easy to grow in your garden, and it dies back. Again, most of your herbs will die back except for rosemary. Rosemary is one of the toughest herbs out there, and I think it's really good for you. And I love to roast potatoes with rosemary. That's another.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
another thing. Because
die in the winter?
it dies in the winter, but it comes back.
It comes back.
It does
Oh,
come
okay,
back.
okay.
So your oregano will die back, and that's why people learned how to dry their herbs.
Right.
Is because it would freeze.
Right.
And then it would be like, well, what do I do with it? It's all dry. Well, they would take it and they would put it, mortar it and put it in jars, and then the next year, and you only to keep your spices for a year because they really lose a lot of their
Right,
flavor from
right.
that. So, and that's why we get spice blends and rubs is because
Which
people
are
will
delicious.
take. Okay, so what
The
I'm going
word
to do.
oregano, by the way, means mountains of joy, and partly because it
Ooh.
makes people feel so good.
Oh. So I'm just going to rough chop
So is
my.
that maybe good for people with that
Yes.
kind of suffer from depression and seasonal depression and that kind of stuff, where the more herbs and spices, specifically you said oregano?
Oregano, yep.
That's really
Nice.
good to know as well.
So I just rough chop my garlic. I've got my red peppers already chopped up here. I've got just spicy or no? Little?
Spicy.
Spicy? Okay, everybody's going for the spice. A little pepper, a little salt. And what I like to do is I like to put this together first so it kind of marinates. And I just put the olive oil, and there we go. Okay, so I'm mixing that together. Then I'm going to rough chop all of this. And do you see how I'm kind of rolling? I teach the kids, make sure you're holding your knife with lots of control. So I'm going to put that in
Knife
there.
skills are one of the best things for kids and adults to learn.
And this is how you do it, is because if you practice, anything that you do, practice doesn't make perfect, it makes permanence.
Ooh, I
and
like that.
that's what we want to do, is I like to have the memory in your knife. And I just stand over the kids and I keep redirecting them. And then pretty soon, they've got it. And it's because they keep practicing. And I
this is
just like to
something
walk
anyone can make,
around.
yeah.
Anyone can do that. And don't be afraid of the knife. Okay, there's my mint. Okay. Now, Rose,
Yeah,
would you go behind me and get out our our chicken, and I want to lay this out. This is like and you can chop it up as little or as much as you want. I don't like to put this into the KitchenAid because I like this a little chunkier. So, and you can let it sit. You can make this, and it can last for like a week in your refrigerator. So how does this look, Ro?
I mean, we are really rocking the house right now, man.
All right,
This
so
is
Rose is going to put this.
And I wish you could smell
I had
this.
this,
It smells so
I
good.
had this. I thought, would you mind? Oh, well,
we
I'll do
wanted
the
to plate-
chicken here.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you're
don't
going
know
to plate that. You're going to do one with, looks like I put too much herbs on this. So I'm going to have to add a little bit
Are
more.
you going to want to cut this chicken?
Yes, I'm going to show you how to do that.
Oh, great.
So this is, maybe you could grab me the olive oil over there. I kind of got a little
Carried away
got a little carried away. But you know what?
You can't get too carried away with
get-
olive oil. What a great food.
Oh,
it's one of the
my
oldest
gosh.
human foods we know about.
Really?
Way back
Yeah.
before history, yeah.
Really?
Before written history.
Okay.
There are drawings of people using olive oil 8,000 years ago.
Oh, awesome. I wonder how they figured out how to make it out of olives.
We don't know because before language was invented, people had already figured out, or before at least any stored language was invented, people had already figured out how to graft and cultivate
How's that,
domesticate
Rose?
olives.
Feeling it, Mom.
You
Really
feeling
feeling
the
it.
chimichurri?
Yeah.
I'm going to pull this off of here, if that would be okay. And then I want to show you with this chicken, I'm going to put it on the white tray there.
Well, it can fit right on here, can
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
But I took these rotisserie chickens here, and they're real. And if you just cook your chicken, and you can just split the breast here in the center, take out the bones, and I like to save those for later. So I'm going to do this here.
Oh, that's looking lovely.
Isn't that nice? And the more that pretty simple. Okay, so we've got our light meat, our dark meat. We have a plate. Okay.
We have
All right.
amazing homemade pesto and
Is
chimichurri.
that wonderful? Maybe we can have you taste that. What do you think?
That sounds great.
Just a little. I need a fork and a, yeah. You know what, Dr. Green? I'm just
could
going to
just-
go like this. I'm going
That
to just
sounds
do a little bit here on this one.
Beautiful.
Okay, so try that. Yummy. That's the pesto.
Oh, nice.
Isn't that nice?
I'm not just saying that.
And this is just a little bit of the chimichurri right here. Try that. And those herbs, and the more it sits, the better it is. Is that delicious on meat? And here's a little bit of the meat right here. Rose, you got a
That
little.
is so vibrant.
Vibrant. Oh gosh, it's good. We're going to save this for the film crew too. Okay, guys.
Oh,
I
good.
see you guys, and
Everybody's
there and
drooling.
You should
everybody's
be.
drooling. And then if you just have, and you know, you can always add salt to anything. So here is a little bit of the chimichurri, but to be able to put it right over your meats when you're, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
And you
Just
let
put
it
it
just
on, Mom.
sit, just put it
Just
on.
be generous.
Just be generous. Oh yeah.
Beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous? I'm just gonna like put it on.
So
Lay it
the
on.
thing about pesto as well, so my son is in 6th grade, and I have been trying to get him to eat pesto for, it feels like a really long
that
time.
gorgeous?
So he's 12 years old, and he was like, no, 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 absolutely not. Well, in his cooking class at school, they made pesto. Okay, so he was there, he was with his buddies, he was doing the thing, he tasted it, they did it on some pasta. I was like, okay, mister, you know now how to do that.
Right.
Make some for me and make some
you.
right now. And he did, and he actually loves pesto now.
Well, that's why we're here in the school.
Yep.
Right.
I want to thank you. Look at how gorgeous this is. You guys are
And
going to
so
love
delicious.
this, and so delicious. Fresh herbs,
And
just
you're
to
right.
recap.
And kids can learn how to do this.
Yes.
They do.
They have learned how
They
to do
have.
this.
We're going to show you that these kids make this. So I want to thank you so much. Next time, we're going to be talking about sautéing and grains. What, white rice, brown rice, wild rice? I
Lots
want to
to
know
talk
what it
about.
does. Lots to talk about. So join us again. Thank you so much for coming to Farm to Taste with our teacher,
Rose Stein.
Dr.
Sarah.
Green and Chef Cindy. You have an amazing day and try all of these foods. Don't be afraid to cook, and don't be afraid to cook with your children. Thank
Farm to
you.
taste.
Farm to taste.